The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Viewing parties across the country are set for the return of TVJ and the legit Dabarkads. Some fans are already outside SM Sangandaan, eagerly waiting to catch the new noontime show. The venue can accommodate about 100 people in the main viewing area. A large LED or LED screen is already set up, and fans can also watch from the top floors. This viewing party is open to everyone, but on a first-come, first-served basis. Games and prizes will be given away before the program and during the commercial breaks. Meanwhile, preparations are also underway in Cebu City. Faces of the legit Dabarkads are plastered all over the place in SM Mabolo. The venue can accommodate at least 1,000 people. Now, other viewing parties will also be held in Lawag City, Ilocos Norte, and Zamboanga City. Meanwhile, President Bongbong Marcos wraps up his first year in office with a generally positive consensus from experts. For University of the Philippines Political Science Professor Jaime or Jamie Naval, President Marcos deserves a grade of 6.5 to 7.5 for reining in inflation and coming up with an economic dream team. Inflation has since started to slow down this year after hitting record highs in 2022.
The economy, in terms of the macro indicators, are quite showing us a comfortable situation. We also witnessed na control naman yung supposedly nakakapag-abag na inflation rate. Pero may mga indicators din dun sa inflation set natin na kailangan din bigyan ng mas masusing pagsusuri at karampatang aksyon.
Meanwhile, political analyst Richard Haydarian praised the Marcoses' progress in foreign relations. He said the Philippines is now in a fairly good spot after the president made efforts to resume ties with traditional allies like the United States.
The president is doubling down on our traditional alliances, but not necessarily wanting to still burn the bridges with China. In terms of foreign policy, he has put the Philippines on a better footing. In fact, it has put the Philippines on a strategic sweet spot, because when it comes to EDCA, we can still configure it to make sure it's not too aggressive towards China, but it's strong enough to make sure the Philippines has some bargaining chip and some sort of negotiating leverage.
Political strategist Ronald Llamas is giving Marcos Jr. an 8/10 grade. He says that while PBBM's trips abroad proved to be successful in rebranding the Marcos name, there are still problems on the domestic front that need to be addressed.
Kahit maganda yung kanyang mga biyahe abroad in terms of rebranding, may mga naging problema pa rin, katulad nung patuloy na pagkakakulong kay Laila de Lima, no? Ito ay tingin ko makakaapekto do sa ating negosasyon sa Europa at saka sa Amerika.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Pinoy Fiesta favorite Lechon flooded Ormoc City as they celebrated this year's Piña Festival. Laila Pangilinan with the story.
In Ormoc City, not one, but 14 lechons were served at the 5th Lechon Kumbira. This is part of the Piña Festival 2023, a much-awaited feast over this side of Eastern Visayas.
Kumbira kasi means festivity eh. It's a gathering of people, no? And then parang when people gather, they eat, they feast on food. Binibira. Oh, binibira, di ba? Oh, lechon kumbira.
Just the sight of roasted pigs being paraded is enough to whet one's appetite. Organizers hope that more tourists will be drawn to this annual event to partake not just of the lechons, but the festive spirit in Ormoc City.
Itong lechon kumbira, aside from the fact that we have the best sweet pineapple here, the queen pineapple, ito, na-discover talaga to ni Congressman Richard na the last 2016, kung matitikman natin yung lechon itself, ang sarap talaga na even better than other lechon in the Visayas.
But Ormocanons were not always in a celebratory mood. Back in 2021, the African swine fever hit the city, with the lechon industry bearing the brunt of it.
Humina yung binta namin kasi yung mga tao takot kumain. Kasi yun nga, dahil sa ESF, swine flu, kaya yung iba, natakot nang bumili ng baboy, especially litson.
Medyo laganap yung spread ng ASF that time, no? It was many places.
Oo. So na-detect namin kagad. Tinamaan kami na yung mga 5 barangay. We killed siguro thousands of pigs, of hogs.
Still within 5 months, Ormoc City was able to bounce back to become one of the first cities to come out of the ASF red zone.
We're very strict with ASF here. Pag merong danger, because first talaga in the city, any program takes a backseat when safety is at stake.
In-intensify namin yung information and education campaign doon sa barangay talaga level, sa barangay, sa komunidad, lalo na yung mga backyard farmers na dapat, ni-remind namin sila sa kanila na dapat i-implement talaga yung strict biosecurity measures.
And fast forward to today, Ormoc City's hog industry is thriving again.
Before the ASF, umabot kami ng about 90 to 100 heads per day. Ngayon, nag-drop yan siya from when we went back, nag-drop to 50. Ngayon naman, pabalik na gradually to 60, 70.
But Ormoc City's celebration is more than just feasting on lechon. It's one big Thanksgiving from sparing them from harm, whether it be from ASF or other man-made and natural disasters.
It has always been to give back to the people, and our way also of giving thanks to St. Peter and Paul for all the blessings he has bestowed on the Ormocanos.
For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
Now here's a quick look on other stories we're watching. The Bureau of Internal Revenue has added 59 medicines to its list of VAT-exempted drugs. About half of these medicines are for cancer treatment, while the rest are drugs for kidney disease, diabetes, tuberculosis, as well as mental illnesses. The Supreme Court ruled that electric distributor Meralco must give a 48-hour written notice before cutting power connections. Meanwhile, Meralco clarified that they already have an existing policy to serve a 48-hour prior notice before disconnecting power service, in compliance with due process requirements. And the prices of liquefied petroleum gas will roll back by 3 pesos and 70 centavos per kilo this month. Auto LPG prices will also be slashed by about 2 pesos per kilo. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.